Okay, so here today we have Josie. She is my almost 21-year-old Appaloosa Thoroughbred Cross mare. I have personally owned her for almost 16 years. So today we're just gonna start with her gait evaluation. So she's just here walking on the lunge line. Josie does kind of a mix of a little bit of everything. She's kind of my jack of all trades. So she's currently leased out to 2 people that ride her, both in kind of the 2 foot and under hunters and or jumpers, really whatever they want to do. And then she trains anywhere between training level and 2nd level dressage. So she goes about 5 days a week, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. And we're just gonna see if we can get her a little trot. Good girl. Good. So Josie tends to, like a lot of stock horses, put more weight on her forehand. So when she gets going, she's often a little choppy like this, with this short little stride. She is a horse when she's being ridden, that she does actually like a good amount of contact and support. She's not necessarily heavy in that contact, but especially in the canter, she is not the biggest fan of a loose rein. She will tend to fall more on that forehand and kind of lose her balance. So she likes, good girl, a little bit more of that supporting aid when being ridden. From time to time, mild back pain, nothing that's ever, knock on wood, been concerned or been concerning. She did a little over a year ago have her coffin joints injected on the front due to a slight change in her navicular that caused a little bit of kind of off and on lameness. So thankfully since those injections, she's been great. Let's see if we can get her to do a little canter. Canter. Come on. I know. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's uncharacteristic for you. It's very windy today. Good girl, you're okay. Can you maybe see that again so I can talk about it? Your normal canter? There we go. So even here on the lunge line, you can see she kind of loses that little bit of balance on the front and just becomes a little bit downhill. Good girl, you can trot now. Thank you. Oh, good girl. We got that out of our system. So yeah, a little bit choppy. The more she kind of goes around, you can even see here just after that little bit, she's kind of loosened up and is starting to open up the gate, but not really over tracking. Ooh. Walk. Ooh. Josephine, thank you. So yes, a little bit of back pain here and there, but nothing that has been concerning, and just that slight change in the navicular bone, but been great the last year, been super, super steady. And now we're gonna stop and we'll check her out the other way. All right, so same thing here, tracking, right? You can trot, that's fine. She's a little more warmed up, but still kind of has that choppiness. You know, not tracking up quite yet. But even just with that little bit of movement, you know, she gets a little bit looser through the shoulder. Good girl. Yeah. So this is pretty normal for her to come out and have that kind of tiny stride. You got the 4-wheeler going by right now. Good girl. Good job, Jay. Now I'll ask you to canter. Canter. So kind of the same thing. You can see she's just a little bit more on the forehand, especially on that inside shoulder. This is kind of what she'll do if you try to ride her with a long rein. She kind of carries her head a little bit more up and just has those little dips where she'll fall a little more on the forehand. Good girl, trot. Ooh. Good. Good. And just a little bit more naturally balanced in the trot. The canter is definitely where she struggles the most with her own balance. And now, you know, even here, kind of opening up, getting a little closer to tracking up. Oh. But can even see some tightness in that hind end. You know, a little bit along, good girl. Kind of the back of that semitendinosus. Those muscles do tend to get a little tight with her. Good girl. And even now the walk you can see is a little bit more free. Keep going. Thank you. Taking those bigger strides, a little bit more loose and free overall. And that's pretty normal for her. She kind of comes out that little bit choppy, and as she gets going, she'll actually open up and she gets some pretty lovely movement. Good girl. Okay, so we moved into the barn to do the rest of Josie's kind of evaluation. So gaits were looking pretty normal for her when she first comes out, a little tight, just kind of up in these shoulders, high, and a little tight through the back of her hind end. So I'm just gonna kind of test her range of motion first in her neck. See if we can do this without not really forcing her around, but just seeing how willing she is to come here to the left side. So willing, but kind of moved around with that haunch. And then let's see, straighten out for me so we can have the same. There we go, good. And then same thing coming here to the right. A little bit more resistant to come this way. Just having to pull a little bit more. Doesn't really want to bring that nose down and around. Typically when riding, she is stronger on her left side. She tends to really hold, especially through her neck and even really the base of her neck, or her pole and the base of her neck. Even through her jaw, quite often she'll hold on that left side. So not overly surprising that she's maybe not as willing to extend those muscles and turn to the right. So just kind of pick up her front feet. We'll check her range of motion there. So very willing to kind of move these around. A little confused, but good job. And so no big resistance there, kind of let me pick up. Same with, let's check the back leg. I'm just kind of hold it, see if she'll let me pull it forward. Not her favorite thing, but she might let me. There we go. So pretty good, a little bit resistant to pulling it forward, but that's actually pretty normal for her. To not love that movement, but she was still pretty willing to do it. Good range in the front. Yeah, that feels really good. Even through here. Yeah, really, really nice and loose in the front there. Picks up nice in the back. And we try to kind of bring it forward. That's good. A little bit less resistance on that side, so whether that was she was just a little more okay with me moving that side around because it was the second one, or because she's a little looser on that right glute. I think we'll find out. Let me move this so we can see the side of her a little bit better. And so I'm just gonna kind of palpate now. So a little bit tense up here, but no like pain response, which is good. Good girl. Just kind of palpate down her shoulder and her back. Little response right there. A little bit through the mid back, which is pretty normal for her. It's usually where she'll show some soreness, sometimes around her hips. Hello. Good girl. Good on that side. I'll move you over here and show this side now. And just kind of palpate along the neck. Good girl. A little bit more tense in this right shoulder than the left side, and kind of moving her ears a little bit more. A little bit more tense on the side of her back too. Not necessarily a bigger response to that palpation, but the muscles themselves feel just a little bit more tense. Good through the hips. Good through, you know, good girl, already licking and chewing. Good job. So she has more tension than she seems to be having, you know, of a pain response. So I think we'll move back over. We'll start on this side and just kind of keep an eye on those releases and responses, but seems to be a little bit more tension than pain, which is pretty normal for you. You're my mare's mare. Good girl. Already licking and chewing, which is super nice. Love that. I'm just gonna kind of work some effleurage strokes over her and mix in with some just kind of circular motions. There we go. Kind of medium pressure, nothing too deep. Getting those little eye flutters from her already is really nice though. And we'll just kind of mix them in. Good girl. Hi. That's a good girl. Good. She's pretty expressive with her eyes and her ears, and she'll let me know when we're on a spot that feels good or if we're on a spot that doesn't feel as good. She's usually pretty good about making that known. Good girl. Pretty light pressure here, just trying to move that tension out of the muscles. Good girl. It is very windy today. We might have some moments where things might bang around and she might pop up awake a little bit. But good girl. I'll kind of go back to the effleurage strokes just to make sure I'm not pushing too much on that one spot. Keep that circulation going. Good. And then I'll just slowly kind of move down her neck, away from the pole, and ooh, good little pop. Good job. Good. Oh, there we go. Some nice licking and chewing, and we're resting this back leg now. That's great. We've got a friend coming in. You can hear some nickering outside. That's caught her attention a little bit. Good girl, you're okay. Good job. You're okay. Got you. Just kind of drape this over me. Just gonna do some light wringing on her neck. Sometimes she will lock a little bit up at the top here. See if we can get that to just kind of loosen up a little bit. You're okay. Good girl. There we go. I know, you got a buddy coming in with you. Girl. Oh, he isn't even near you, little rumpy. I'm getting licking and chewing even if she's being her normal big bubble space mare self. A little tight right here, so I'll just kind of do some medium pressure. Hi, good girl. Good girl. shoulder. Don't be fresh. Oh, hi. Just coming around the pecs. They're nice and loose. Feeling really good. Just want to make sure we're not doing too much on the neck at once. Just have a little bit of a knot right here. Do some vibration, see if we can try to break that. Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Good girl. That's much better. Good job. Yeah. Thank you. Good girl. We'll kind of move along towards the back of her shoulder. She's usually a big fan of her triceps getting worked on. We'll just kind of go again with medium pressure, just all down the shoulder. Mixing in some kind of lighter strokes. A little bit medium pressure. I know that side door might open up. Yeah, that side door might open up. We might be coming in to get more hay. Doing a good job. Just to break up that little bit of tension in the back of the tricep. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Go down. A little bit of ringing. Maybe some kind of picking up. Keep these front legs a little bit loose since she does tend to carry a lot of that weight on her forehand. Good girl. It's nice to kind of break these muscles up a bit. Good girl. I know. Yeah, it's okay. Doing a good job. Got the four-wheeler on the outside of the barn here. I think they're about to get more hay, so she's just listening to them. Check in with me, please. Thank you. Good girl. So if they were to come in, if that was to make her really nervous, I'd probably just stop for a few minutes, let them kind of load up, and continue the session when she can relax a little bit more. Good girl. But they might not come in. We'll see. Good girl. A little bit around her girth area here. Some light pressure going up and down. Looks like they're going away. Nice. We're just kind of driving away. We'll get a little bit more relaxed here in a minute. Good girl. Here now, and she's just a little tense, I'll just do some kind of light clapping along the back just to kind of get the circulation going before we start putting the pressure on when she's tense. Good. Working some light effleurage strokes. Good girl. Kind of do that all down her ribs. Good girl. Some slow, medium pressure strokes. Good girl, a little bit of vibration. Good. You seem to like that today. You seem to like that today. Good girl, licking and chewing. Good job. Here we go. Oh, good job. Some good releases there, both with the licking and chewing. Take a couple deep breaths. Her belly's gurgling. So we're just gonna kind of work down her rib cage here a bit. Good girl. Oh, there we go. Give the hind end a little rest. I know, Quinny's going out for a ride. Girl. Let's see how she feels about me just kind of being over her oblique here. Just kind of some light pressure. It's a little bit sensitive of an area. Good girl. Good girl. Good job. You're doing a good job. Hi. Good girl. All right, I'm gonna drop that so I can go back here. Just kind of slowly start working in on the hind end. Little light effleurage strokes here. Even some little bit of clapping just to kind of get that blood flow going. Good girl. Good. Good job, girlfriend. You know you hear everybody outside. She seems to like the vibration today. Kind of do a little bit of that all over her, around her hips and over her bicep. Seems to be helping her to release that bit of tension that she's holding. Good girl. Yeah, these muscles actually already feel a little bit looser back here. Good job. And we'll go back to the effleurage. All over. Good girl. Just kind of add in some medium pressure again. Just definitely feeling looser back through the back of the semitendinosus. Still a little tight over here by the stifle. So we'll kind of just work through that a little bit. Just kind of let her whole body move with me. Very like relaxed throughout. Not holding herself as rigid as she was, you know, a few moments ago when there was some stuff going on outside. Which is good. That's what we like for you. I want you to be nice and relaxed. There we go. I was just gonna say, I'd ideally like to see some licking and chewing back here for a release. You can feel the muscles. Yeah, like even there's already better. Kind of got a little jiggle and movement back in the muscle. Not as much tension and kind of stiffness. That's great. Really, really good. Last thing I want to do before we move over to the other side, because I know she holds her jaw, she can be a little head shy, so we're going to see if she's on board with it, but just trying to do like a little bit of some circular motions up near and around her TMJ, just see if we can get her. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. We'll just be super, super light about it. I might even just, instead of circular, I might just pull away instead of going towards her eye. Hi. You got those big happy eyes, girl. It's okay. I know. You can hear people outside. You're doing a good job. Oh, good little crack in your neck again there. Oh, there we go. You're okay. Go down. Good girl. Honestly, I kind of like that. You just kind of release that tension and I will take it. I know, you want to look around. Oh, good girl. Good job. Good job with that. So now we'll move over here so we can get a better look at the right side. We're going to pretty much do the same thing, just kind of keeping an eye on her body language. We're going to start right up at the top. A little bit of effleurage strokes. Good girl. Move that. Similar feel on this side, at the top of her pole, kind of some tension up here. So just some minimal, or medium pressure rather, as we work down, just kind of using the fingertips. Oh, that was nice. Good girl. That was very nice. She's even got just kind of this little bit of tension that goes along her crest. That seems like it feels pretty good. Yeah, you like that? Her eyes will always give her away. Those big, happy eyes. Good girl. That's awesome, Jay. Good job. Good job. So similar here, she's got these almost little knots, like right in. Oh, good girl, releasing that breath. So she seems to be responding well to the vibration today. So just gonna kind of find those little knots with my fingertips and move around a little bit to see if we can break up that tension. Again, she doesn't seem to be having necessarily a pain response. She's not really moving away from the pressure, but the muscles just feel kind of tight. And in here you can feel those little, almost like eraser heads. They're already kind of starting to break up with just this. Yeah, that's much better. Good girl, good for you. Good for you. Right here, do some kind of circular. And then we'll go to lighter, just so we don't do too much and kind of make the area sore. Just alternating between that medium pressure and the lighter pressure. Good. Right up here. Good girl, Josie. Good job, Mama. Oh, there you go. Good girl, Jay. Those heavy, sleepy eyes. Good. So as I start to work down kind of the front of her shoulder, head towards her pecs, we're getting the sleepy eye. Those bigger, slower breaths. Just kind of slowly work my way down her chest. There we go. Good girl. Oh, those are big licks. Those are big licks. Can't even fully see them on the video. That's a shame. That was a big lick. Good job. Let's see if we can adjust this so we can see your nose a little better. I know, you're just holding your head so low now. You're so relaxed. You still got that back leg resting too. Good job. Oh, big tail swish. And we'll just kind of work back around her shoulder again. Kind of same thing. Start with those lighter strokes, get the blood flow going. This shoulder does feel still a bit more tense than the other side did. Especially back through this tricep. Good girl, just kind of medium pressure all the way down. She likes these long strokes. Just kind of moving everything out. Those seem to be, yeah, getting the licks and chews from her today. So that's what we're going with today. Good girl. Have these little kind of, not even necessarily knots, but just these little spots that have some tension in them. And she seems to really like these vibrations and these long strokes mixed today, so we're gonna go with it. Go with what feels good for Miss Josie. Gonna go up and down a little. Good girl, really good. Big heavy eyes. Good. And again, she carries a lot of that tension in her forehand. Because of how she's built with that downhill, you know, knowing that throughout the day she's probably putting more of her weight. Do a little ringing and kind of breaking up, picking up, just to break up the tension in the muscles, get that blood flow going. There we go. Good girl, really nice, Jay. Good girl. And like right here. Just kind of holds it a little, just a little tight. Here we go. You like this today. He's such a fun horse to work with because she will always let you know when she likes what you're doing. Good girl. She's like that with riding too. Oh yeah. Like right here, just this little section of muscle. That's just a little tight. Good girl. Oh, good girl. A little bit of circulation. Just stand up a bit to work on it. Oh, we're awake. Oh my gosh, you have a droopy lip. You never have a droopy lip. She's got her little bottom lip ever so slightly pushed out, which is very rare for her. She's my kind of always on alert horse, not necessarily spooky or tense or things like that. But she's always on guard, always ready. Getting her to relax that much is always pretty rewarding. Good girl. Yeah. My girl, you do so good. You always, yeah, you're so good. Just kind of slowly start to work towards the back. Oh my God, the biggest sleepy eyes. She's gonna take a full nap. Good girl. Really nice, and it's nice and quiet now. The wind's died down. You're done feeding lunch, so there's no four-wheeler. We got the barn to ourselves. I think she's really responding a lot to her environment too, which is something I try to keep in mind when I work on her. Is she likes her space and her quiet time, so I try to make sure I find quieter times in the day to work on her. Good. Do some light kind of clapping along her back again, just to get that blood flow started. Knowing that this was the side that she had a little bit more tension in her back, and still kind of does. Like, again, I can palpate. She's not really reacting, you know, at this point, but you can just feel there's that little bit of tension. So we'll start nice and light. Just kind of work over, keep an eye on her and her body language. And just kind of slowly increase to some medium pressure with these longer strokes. The little belly's grumbling. Good girl. Really good girl, Josie. Good job, Mama. Just kind of some light vibrations back and forth. Starting at the wither and just work our way down. Again, just to kind of break up that tension that she's holding. She's pretty consistent throughout her body with what I'm feeling. There's not one section that feels overtly different from the other. They all kind of have this minimal state of tension that she's holding on to. Which is part of why I think that vibration technique seems to be working today. She seems to like just that little bit of breaking up of those muscles holding together. Yeah, even here now we're moving a little bit better. So we'll add a little bit more to that pressure with our fingertips, and even kind of almost to the balls of my palms. Kind of moving my hand around on her. Going down the rib cage, and then the four-wheeler's coming back, so she might perk up a little bit here. four-wheeler something she sees every day. It's nothing new, but it still puts a little bit more tension. Now that door might open. Good girl. I'd love to get a release before they open the door, but that's okay. Good girl. We're resting this hind leg, so that's great. Oh, good girl. Big breath there. Yep, you're okay. Good girl. You're okay. Good job.
Come on, crazy lady. I like crazy ladies, okay.
He's good. Good girl.
Josie. She's got the video.
My favorite demo.
She doesn't move.
Her eyes tell you everything. Good girl. Good job. You just have the same tension over here too. You're very consistent. Oh, we love a lick and chew. Good girl. Okay, go down the back here. Your vibrations, do a little bit of that. Oh, the sleepy eye. Good girl. You go back to your nap, girlfriend. We'll be right here.
All of our hair on the floor.
All of her hair, all the shedding. Good girl. There we go. Same tension on the side around that stifle. But we let that go pretty quick. Good girl.
Mason?
Good girl. Good job. She's kind of moving her whole body with it again. She's so funny. Like sways with the pressure. Good girl. I'd love to get one more good lick and chew release out of you before we wrap it up. I think you've got one more in here. Good girl, come on. Good girl, there we go. I think you got something else. Just kind of alternating back and forth still. I feel like we've got one more good release in. Feel it, but we'll see what she'll give us. I'll give her a couple more minutes. I could just feel like a little bit more tension. So even if we get a good deep breath, just a little bit still kind of right in here. Good for you. Oh, I love that I spooked and my horse didn't. What a good girl. You're so good. I was like ready to grab the lead rope and she was like, what? Good
I didn't
girl.
know that. I forgot I had him in my pocket after the night came.
Oh,
Crazy.
good. You're so good.
At least she's not the one that's
She's such a good horse.
She didn't
why
care.
scared.
Such a good girl.
Oh, look, she is.
All right. Come on. There it is. I knew you had one more. Good job. Excellent. Good job. You did it. I don't have a cookie. But we do have to check your range of motion again, so thank you for reminding me. So now we'll kind of recheck the range of motion. You want to watch what Shauna's doing. She's a little bit more willing to come this way. I think she'd be much more willing if I had a cookie. Come on. There we go. Good girl. Much, much better. Much, much better on that. And then we will recheck. Back up. With the back, silly. Thank you. Range of motion in the back legs now that we've kind of loosened that up. Yeah, much more willing to come forward. Good girl. Good job. Much more willing to extend that. Should do this before your farrier comes. Come on, up, up. Good girl. There we go. Oh, your belly's rumbling. Yeah. Much more willing to pull it forward and hold it forward on both back legs. Good job, Jay. All right, so Josie's all wrapped up now. So really the conclusion for her is, there was nothing out of the ordinary. The usual tension kind of through her neck, through her shoulders, and through the backs of her glutes, kind of on that semitendinosus line, which due to her build being more on the forehand and knowing how she likes to be ridden, that's not surprising. A little bit of back pain, but again, nothing that was really out of the ordinary. You got some big yawns going on right now. But she gave some really great releases. I was very happy that even when she had those moments of kind of some tension with stuff going on around her, big yawns going on right now. It's very cute. Yeah, even with those moments of tension. Just trying to see if we could show them how cute you are yawning. She was able to, kind of reset, come back to that nice relaxed state. She's usually, like I said, very good about showing me when she's, relaxed. Lots of good releases with licking and chewing. So the plan will be to kind of keep her on her, right now she gets monthly massages. And she gets the cold laser therapy and some kinesiology taping worked in as needed. So the plan will be to stick with that schedule and increase as needed. And now she's gonna go back outside and enjoy the rest of her day in her paddock.